Mouse Sports, we are live again. We just spoke to the Alabama Crimson Tide, Carl Tucker Jr. We appreciate him coming on, the national champion. He's a tight end / H-back / fullback. This guy's multi-talented, covers it all. But now we're going to get into football, NFL football specifically the quarterbacks. Cam's got a very long list. We're not going to go through the whole crazy list. He's like, let's go through 9 pages of lists here. Okay, well, let's keep it. Let's start with the top 10. And then maybe if we're in a good mood, we'll go to the WTFs and, the Patriots. So the number 1 team on this list is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Correct.
They're the Gardner Minshew, Mike Glennon fantasy train with a mustache of the 70s is coming to an end. And we're naming, so to set the rules, we're naming who the new quarterback is of the changing teams, changing quarterbacks, correct?
Correct.
Would you like to elaborate any more than that, Cam?
Right. Now, there are certain teams, if you think they have their current starter next year, you can say that. But these are teams, Adam Schefter reported there might be many as 18 teams with new quarterbacks next season. We're not going to go over them all, as you said, but we're just going to go over a few here. Again, if you feel that their starter is currently on the roster, say it. Let's do it.
All right, let's start. So the first team on the list, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 150% going to take Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
All right. Number 2, this is where the list gets a little dicey. There's so many reports here. Now, if I'm the Jets, if I have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, of course I'm getting Deshaun Watson. Personally, I think he's crazy. I think he's crazy if he goes to the Jets. He may love Robert Saleh. Look, go rent a yacht, go rent a cruise, and go party with Instagram models and eat sushi and drink champagne and drink wine and martinis all day long. Do not go to the Jets. The Jets are a dumpster fire. They've always been a dumpster fire. I'm picking Deshaun Watson because he is adamant about going, but I think he's crazy. But go ahead, Cam.
So you're going with Deshaun Watson to the Jets, huh?
Yeah, because I think he's crazy. But go ahead.
I am actually going to stick with Sam Darnold.
So the fact that Deshaun Watson says that's his number 1 team, that means nothing to you.
I just think that there's going to be another team that's going to give up more, and we're going to get to them briefly.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. The Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, this is where Deshaun Watson should go. They've got a solid core group of guys. They have got a great defense. They've got good enough guys on offense. They've got good running backs. They've got Devontae Parker, who's a great number 1 receiver, a couple of the guys that are solid. Continue to improve the offensive line, continue to improve. But overall, Deshaun Watson to this Dolphins team is an 11 or 12 win team and can make a lot of noise. I would like them to get Deshaun Watson, but at the end of the day, I think they stick with Tua and Fitzpatrick as kind of a package deal.
Well, here's where I have Deshaun Watson. I have him going to Miami because I think that Miami knows they made a mistake drafting Tua. He's been banged up. He had a horrible last game of the year that cost him the playoffs. Justin Herbert went after him. He looks phenomenal. I think there's also a window open.
Let me ask you this. You're not by chance related to the Houston Texans owner, are you? Are you not related to him, the owner of the Texans?
No, I'm not related to Cal McNair, no.
Okay, because you have the same thinking that he does. You're both ignoring Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson says, here is my list. This is what I'm asking for. You're ignoring it, and he's ignoring it. He's told you he wants to go to the Jets. He doesn't want to go to Miami. He doesn't want to stay in Houston. Why is that hard for so many people to understand? I'm not understanding why that's hard for people to understand.
On the top of his list. I just don't think the Jets are going to give up enough to get him. I think Miami, is going to offer Houston their pick back. I think they'll be willing to offer more and more picks in the future because Miami's closer to winning now than the Jets are. I think they're in more of a win-now mode than the Jets are. I mean, up until week 16, we thought the Jets were going to have the first overall pick. So I just think Miami's going to offer more. They are on Deshaun Watson's list. I don't know why he would want to go to the Jets over the Dolphins. The Dolphins, better tax situation, better team, better nightlife, better everything. I just don't know. He must love the city of New York. That's the only explanation I can think of why he wants to go to the Jets.
I think it's crazy. I think whoever is advising Deshaun Watson, clearly somebody's in his ear. His agent, his friends, somebody is in his ear saying, "Oh, New York, marketing, New York, Look, New York is overrated. Okay, it's overrated. It's so disrespecting New York. New York is downtrending. Okay, if New York was a stock,
they're also closed.
It would be the opposite of GameStop. Okay, if it was a stock, it'd be the opposite of GameStop. GameStop, for those watching the news, is uptrending. Unless you're Robinhood and they're really trying to screw their stock, they'd be Robinhood. That's who the Jets are. So at the end of the day, I think the Jets are a dumpster fire. I think Deshaun Watson's crazy. You could be right. The Dolphins do have the juice. The Dolphins do have the capital. I think Deshaun Watson should go to Miami. That's where the team is. That's where the structure is. You have Devontae Parker. You're able to get a DeAndre Hopkins type of a guy, not him specifically, but that type of a guy, an Odell Beckham Jr., that type of a guy. This Miami team could shake things up really, really quickly. So let's move on to the Falcons. The Falcons are going to keep Matt Ryan. There's just too much money there.
You're right. There is a lot of money there, and I do think they're going to draft a guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft Zach Wilson, but I'm going to stick with Matt Ryan because he will be the starter in week 1, but he might not be by the end of the year.
Well, they might draft Zach Wilson. They also might draft Justin Fields. But the rules of the game was who's going to be the starter for at least game 1 or most of the year. And I'd say with close to $37, $38 million in dead cap money, it's definitely Matt Ryan. So I think Atlanta is in salary cap hell, much like Philadelphia is in salary cap hell.
In Houston.
Much like the Saints are in salary cap hell. The Saints have got a cut. I want to say I saw the numbers like $65 or $70 million.
Wow.
They'll
get a break from the Drew Brees expected retirement, right?
But it's not as much as you think. It's not as big of a break. Yeah, it's not as much as you think. So so we both got. Let's go to the Eagles. You go first with the Eagles.
Eagles here. I'm actually going to go Jalen Hurts.
I don't think they're going to go Jalen Hurts. My opinion is the Eagles are like the Jets. They're both dumpster fires. I know the Eagles fans are lathering themselves up from the Super Bowl they won several years ago, but they got lucky. They got lucky with Nick Foles. They got lucky.
Correct.
Carson Wentz is an idiot. I think he's all over the place. Carson Wentz doesn't know what he wants. What Carson Wentz wants to do is he just wants everybody to tell him how great he is. He doesn't actually want to be great. He just wants everybody in the room to tell him that he's great. Oh, Carson, you threw 3 interceptions. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. You threw 3 interceptions. Good job. Carson Wentz is a grown-up 25-year-old toddler. That's what he is.
I agree.
Oh, little Carson, you went poo-poo in the bathroom. Good for you, Carson. That's what he wants, okay? That's what he wants. I'm so over Carson Wentz. I could not be more over Carson Wentz if you tried. I'm sick of this. So this whole situation is a dumpster fire. So I would say if I was forced to bet, the Eagles will probably keep him and probably be another year in the dumpster fire because he is due so much money that they would have to move heaven and earth to figure out a way to get rid of that money. So I'm over that. The next is the Lions.
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Here is where I'm going to go Justin Fields. We're moving on from Matt Stafford. I don't think the Jets are going to take him. I don't think the Falcons are going to take him. And those are the only teams above them that realistically need quarterbacks. So I'm going to go with Justin Fields here to Detroit.
I'll go with Justin Fields because I hate Detroit. I really don't think they're going the right direction. I think they're a dumpster fire. If they get rid of Matt Stafford, which they've already said they're going to do, he wants to leave. He's tired of it. So, yeah, I would agree Justin Fields. I don't think they should get Justin Fields because I don't think Justin Fields is as great as everybody pretends him to be. But that's just my opinion. Next, Panthers, I say Teddy Bridgewater because they have no other choice.
You think that's just too much money to get rid of him after 1 year?
Too much money, too much capital, too much of everything. So, you're looking at about $24, $25 million in that range. You can't get rid of him. You still got 2 years left. You're going to have to bite the bullet for 1 more year with Teddy and suck for another year, win 4 or 5 games. That's just the real deal.
Yeah, they're the ones who signed him. Again, I will agree with you. It will be Teddy Bridgewater, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a Trey Lance or a Zach Wilson or a Mac Jones.
They might take one of those guys, all of those guys, none of those guys. But at the end of the day, Carolina's not going anywhere. The Broncos. Now, what pick do the Broncos have in the draft? Do you have that?
They're in the high teens, I believe. High teens.
Okay, we'll call it 11 or 12. They may go Trey Lance. I'll say Trey Lance. I say Drew Lock may start, but they may go to Trey Lance eventually. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, so you're going with Trey Lance.
Well, no. What I'm saying is Drew Lock may start game 1, but eventually 4 games, 6 games, 8 games in, they may go to Trey Lance. Is what I'm saying.
Correct. I'm going to go with Trey Lance myself, but I'm going to name him the week 1 starter myself because I think he'll beat Drew Lock out in training camp.
Based on what? A long career at North Dakota State, the great bandwidth that North Dakota State has produced. They produced Carson Wentz, who was great for a couple years, and then he's been crying ever since he got benched. All right, 49ers.
Matt Stafford is who I'm going to go with. Yeah, I think it's a good fit. That offense, him and Kyle Shanahan out in the Bay Area. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is done out there. And our guest last night, Tony Maserati from 98.5 The Sports Hub, he will drop info from time to time on his show today because he's still tapped into some people. And he said that Garoppolo wants out of San Francisco himself today.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a locker room NFL insider to understand that Jimmy G wants out and they want him out. Yeah, so I do agree that Jimmy G is gone, but I do not agree that it's going to be Matt Stafford. I think there's going to be a lot of routes that they go. I don't think it's going to be Matt Stafford. There's not really a guy right now that jumps out at me, so we'll see how it goes as it comes along. But I do think Jimmy G is out. I do think Jimmy G likely does end up in New England, which we will get to. But, yeah, the 49ers may draft a guy. The 49ers, they do have a good defense. They do have a good running game. They have a good core group of guys. They just got to get healthy, try to bounce back to get 8 or 9 games. Number 10, the Raiders, I say Derek Carr. They have their guy. He's going to return. You don't have to actually respond. You can just kind of stand there and look at the paper. You have a thought on that?
I thought there was a chance they might go to Marcus Mariota, but I agree that they'll stick with Derek Carr.
Why would they go to Marcus Mariota? That doesn't even make sense.
They had their best offensive game of the year with him, it felt like, against the Chargers, that overtime loss.
The loss.
Yes.
Their best game of the year.
Their best offensive game.
Okay, we're going to move on. Onto the WTF. Speaking of WTFs, Washington, I really don't care what Washington does. They're going to, whatever they do, they're going to ruin it. They're going to be terrible. They got rid of Dwayne Haskins, who was picked up by Pittsburgh. Alex Smith has been beat to hell. The guy they got, what's his name? Taylor Heineke.
Heineke. Yep.
I think he's the guy. I think Taylor Heineke's the guy. I think he's the guy.
I can see it, but I just see Daniel Snyder. He hasn't learned a damn thing. He's going to intervene like he always did, like he did with Patrick Ramsey, like he did with RG3, like he did with Dwayne Haskins, because he thinks he knows everything. Aren't they the perfect team to draft Mac Jones in the first round? Aren't they the perfect team that would reach for a guy like that in the first round? So I'm going with Mac Jones.
You know, that's actually not a bad pick. Do you have the draft rankings? It would have been helpful if you'd had that up here. Do you have at least the top 15? Where are they picking at? 15 or 14?
No, because they won their division. Their picks lower, so they're no higher than 20.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I forgot. They won 7 games, and they're going to be – okay, yeah. So they'll be – look, if Matt – well, you said reach. If Mac Jones falls to them in the 20s, they 100% should take Mac Jones. I think, Matt, we just talked to our guy, okay, Carl Tucker, and he talked about the professionalism of Mac Jones. I've seen the professionalism of Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones. Look, this is not popular. I like Mac Jones. I'm talking about talent. Okay, and I'm talking about quarterback evaluation. I like him better than Zach Wilson. I like him better than Justin Fields. I like him better than many of these other guys that are the sensation. Is he exciting? Is he the sexy pick? No, but he's smart. He's cerebral. He's fundamental. He checks every box. He's an adult. I think he's going to be fine. I like Mac Jones. Now we're going to go to 12 since this is your team. You've been foaming at the mouth all day. let's hear it. Who are your New England Patriots going to pick and do a terrible job with?
Wow. Thanks for the vote of confidence. There's no other conclusion to draw. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, this is Bill Belichick. He wanted to move on to him 4 years ago. As we just said earlier, he wants out of San Francisco. San Francisco wants out of him. They're going to move on. There's not going to be much of a market. The only other team I think is really going to want Garoppolo is the Bears. And
they're going to win 14 games with Jimmy G?
No. I'll say somewhere, if he stays healthy, somewhere between 8 and 10.
Okay, well,
he's better than Cam Newton at this stage. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree he's better than Cam Newton, but here is what a lot of people are missing. Jimmy G is better than Cam Newton. Jimmy G is more valuable than Cam Newton and all those things. He's better at running the offense. He's better at running Mr. Belichick's offense. However, what a lot of people did not realize about Cam Newton, they won a lot of those games last year running the ball with Cam Newton and running the ball with the running backs and managing the game. Jimmy G is so brittle. Jimmy G is the opposite. Jimmy G needs receivers and George Kittle and great running backs. It's not him running the ball around, managing the game. He needs other guys to make plays. That is the difference with Jimmy G. When Jimmy G had his couple good games with the Patriots, they had the number 1 and number 2 defense. They had great receivers. They had great tight ends. They had a lot of other guys. You told this to me today. Besides the Super Bowl teams, the Senior Bowl is today. There's one coach and general manager that is not there, and that's Bill Belichick.
Correct. He's on vacation in the Caribbean. Every other GM except for Jason Light and the GM of the Chiefs is at the Senior Bowl except for Bill Belichick.
And that's not a problem for you?
Of course it is. And here's my thing. And again, we'll stem off of what our guests from last night, Felger and Maz, said today. What they said today was that they're consistent. When Tom Brady skipped the offseason workouts his last 2 years in New England, they were all over him for not coming into work. This is the same thing. This is Belichick's version of that.
Who was all over him? Felger and Mass?
Felger and Mass. They said it was
awful. I don't care if Felger and Mass were all over him or not. I don't care if Tom Brady goes off-season workout. That's just you guys being psychotic. Going to off-season workouts doesn't mean anything for a player. If you're in shape, you're in shape, no matter if you're in Tahiti or New England or Tampa Bay. You're in shape.
Bill
Belichick is the coach and the general manager, and he needs to evaluate the talent, the guys that they're going to be drafting.
Correct. The Senior Bowl this year, it's the Dolphins and Panthers staffs that are the coaches. So Brian Flores and Matt Rule and their staffs are coaching the teams. But everybody else, every other team's GM except for the 2 Super Bowl GMs, Jason Light and the Chiefs GM, I believe his name is Zach Veach, and Bill Belichick, they're the only ones not there. There are Patriots scouts there, but Bill Belichick himself is not there.
Well, it's good that the scouts are there, but here's the problem. Bill Belichick sucks at drafting.
He doesn't listen to his scouts.
And he doesn't listen to his scouts. Let's just say for the sake of argument that he was marginal at drafting, which he isn't. Okay, let's say that he was marginal. He doesn't listen to his scouts.
Well, and this has come out more and more in recent years.
He better win 10 games next year. I'm telling you right now. Excuse me, with a cough. If he does not win 10 games next year,
his job's on the line.
New England, I'm not going to say his job is on the line, but that's too far. But the New England fan base is going to get rowdy.
Well, especially seeing how great Brady's still playing.
Right. They were saying this today and this week on the talk shows that they said Belichick has to go to another Super Bowl. He has to.
No, absolutely. I mean, right now he is behind 45-0. Now, he's going to have more time than Brady. I do expect Belichick to still be coaching in about 4 or 5 years. I don't think Brady will be playing in 4 or 5 years. I don't know if he's going to be coaching here or not, though, because I agree with you. He'll get 3 years. He'll get next year, but if they're still in the sewer in 2 years, I think they're going to move on.
That is hard to say.
I think he'll get 3 years. This was his first year. I think they're going to give him 3 years to build it back up.
Let me say this: 7-9, 8-8, 8-8.
That's not building it.
It's not cutting.
No, they need to be back to 11-12 wins in 2 years. I agree.
Well, that's delusional.
I don't think they will be. No, I don't think they will be. No, don't take it as
what people are going to start to realize. The people in New England, I've noticed from talking to all the New England guys, they're like, oh, it's 10, 11, 12 games. It's super easy. Well, no, it isn't. It has been for 20 years when you have Tom Brady. Okay. Tom Brady spent 1 year with the Buccaneers. He's in the Super Bowl right now. No matter what happens in the game, he's dragged this team to the Super Bowl. I commend Tom Brady for that. Tip my hat to him. Bill Belichick had everything. He's done a horrible job at drafting. You said we talked about Felker's like, oh, if Green Bay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let me ask you this. If the Patriots had Justin Jefferson, what was another? Patriots had Deebo Samuel, Justin Jefferson, and Cole Kmet at tight end. How much better is this Patriots team?
Immensely better. And I know we talked about it. The N'Keal Harry pick is like, it's hard to do. All the receivers in that draft, except for him, are good, and they picked the one who couldn't at the end of the first. It's just, that's hard. It was easier for them. They had a higher percentage of hitting than missing. And
you're right. That's the problem. You're 100% right. They had a better chance in that draft of the top 6 receivers. They had a 5 out of 6 chance of hitting an A or an A+ guy versus the F- guy, N'Keal Harry. That's the problem. That is the problem. They missed, and they missed horribly, because you're talking about the guys in that draft. Who are the guys in that draft? Name the guys in that draft.
DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Mecole Hardman, Hollywood Brown.
Superstars.
Correct.
And DK Metcalf is in my opinion, a bubble guy. N'Keal Harry is a bubble guy. What I mean by that is he will be lucky to make the roster next year. He has not progressed. He has gone backwards. He's not elite. He's just not where they need to be.
Well, he was the most disappointing player on the team last year. And look, people can say, "Oh, I didn't expect anything from Cam Newton." There's a reason Cam Newton was available for minimum dollars at the end of June. So no, I didn't expect anything from Cam Newton. They needed N'Keal Harry to get better, and he didn't. He got worse. So he was the most disappointing player on the team last year. And I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it out of camp.
Let's be realistic. We're going to wrap this up with your team, okay? Oh, the Patriots are going to win 11. Oh, they'll win 11 or 12. I expect them. Oh, maybe they struggle and they win 10 games.
That's not what I'm saying. No.
Okay, no, but that's the feel I get from New England. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Tom Brady is the system.
Yes.
Okay. Let me set the tone here. Okay. Josh McDaniels, I believe, won 4 games with Tim Tebow, and then he got fired. 3 or 4 games with Tim Tebow, 4 or 9, then he got fired. Say that again.
It's interesting you said that today, because today I actually heard his offensive rankings the years that he hasn't had Tom Brady. So the years he was head coach in Denver.
We're talking about. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, McDaniels. Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the years he was head coach in Denver, the 1 year he was the offensive coordinator of the Rams, and now obviously back this past year without Brady here in New England. Those years, he has never had an offense that's ranked higher than 25th.
Yeah. Look, I think Josh McDaniels is a great coach. I do. I think Bill Belichick's a great coach. But what I've not seen is without Tom Brady. Look, if we went right now to coach Tom Brady would say, these are the plays that I'm going to call. And I'd say, that's a great call, Brady. I mean, this fantasy that people have, look, it was Tom Brady that adds a Julian Edelman, adds a Troy Brown, adds a Danny Amendola. Look, those are all nice players. They're fine players. There's nothing wrong with those players. They're not Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson. They're not next-level guys. They're just not.
And you've seen it down. I think largely this year, since that you lost to the Chiefs, made it 7-5, and then you went on the bye week. I think since then, Bruce Arians has deferred to Tom Brady because you guys haven't lost since.
Exactly. So my point is, the defense needs to improve for New England. The receivers need to improve. The quarterback needs to improve. The tight ends need to be improved. Everything needs to improve. Right.
We got a good O-line, got a good running game, but that's about it. No, I agree. And look,
well, you say you do have a good O-line, but you say you have a good running game, but here's the thing. Your running game is going to get worse next year. Your running game is going to get worse.
Every team's going to stack the box.
No, because you're not going to have Cam Newton. You can't. What people are missing in New England, people are piling on Cam Newton. Cam Newton didn't have a good year, but he did have a good year running the ball. Didn't have a good year passing. He played terrible as a traditional quarterback, but he did run the ball well. So what I'm saying to you is you're going to be missing those 45, 50, 55 yards a game running from Cam Newton. So you're going to lose that element. So what I'm telling you is Jimmy G and Damian Harris in the backfield and N'Keal Harry, that doesn't scare anyone. I'm telling you right now, Jimmy G, N'Keal Harry, Damian Harris does not scare anybody. Nobody.
No, I agree with you. No. I'm under no illusions that this is a one-off season fix. Thankfully, we have some cap space, sign some guys.
Before we go, I'm going to bring up the top. You talked about the top 10 offenses. At the end of the day, I like Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is a great guy, but he's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Peyton Manning, right?
No.
Okay. Big Ben vows to help Steelers with a $41 million cap hit. That's breaking news. But now
the Steelers want him to take a pay cut, and he said he'd do it. He wants to play one more year.
Okay. Yeah, of course he wants to. Well, $41 million. Yeah. Okay. It's the same thing with Phillip Rivers last year. Hey, Phillip, we know you're beat up. We know you can't play. Guys, I want to retire. My back, my legs, my everything, my family, blah, blah, blah.
It's $30 million.
We'll give you $25 million. Oh, you know what? My back just healed. I feel good. Yes. So, yeah, Big Ben for 40. Where are you going to go and make 30, 35 million? Nowhere. There's nowhere you can go besides professional sports and make that kind of money. Okay? You can't. So, yeah, if they say you're getting 41 now, if they say, okay, we're going to cut you and dead cap and blah, 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 yes, he'll take a pay cut. He'll take 30, 31, 32, whatever the number is. He'll take an $8 or $10 million pay cut, of course, for one more year.
And I got to give you credit. You said it after the Steelers were eliminated by Cleveland that you said right then.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben.
I said he's coming back, and everyone's like, oh, he's done. Okay. You
said he'll play one more year.
I said he'll play one more year. He is good enough and tough enough to play for one more year and to suck it up. Of course he is. Absolutely he is.
This isn't a question of will he, but do you think Drew Brees should play one more year?
No, I do not think he should play another year, and I think he's done. That's why we made that bet. The bet that I'm going to win, because he was injured the year before. He's 42 now, so he was injured last year. He's injured this year, and guess what? The team is 8-1 without him. Correct?
Under Taysom Hill. Yep.
No.
Oh, Teddy Bridgewater.
In the last 2 years, they're 8-1 without him. They're 3-1 with Taysom Hill. They're 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. 5-0 with Teddy. 3-1 with Taysom Hill. I like both guys. Neither one of those guys are world beaters. Neither one.
And you even said last year that Teddy Bridgewater earned the right to keep that job till he lost a game.
Of course he did. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring up the top 10 offenses, which should go by yardage, okay, before we go here. You ready?
Let's do it.
Now, if there's a guy that leaves because of ancillaries or whatever else, okay, so let's do this. We're doing the hot tub time machine. We're doing Cam's fantasy of Jimmy G with his chin and his long flowing hair coming to town. That's what you want, right? The long flowing hair, the chin, the strippers, the Instagram, all the model. That's what your fantasy. That's the fantasy.
I just think it makes the most sense. I'd rather have Matt Stafford personally, but I just think that given how Bill Belichick thinks of Jimmy Garoppolo, I do believe Garoppolo is a good player when he's healthy. Can we both agree on that?
And for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to go over the top 10. I'm going to try to go over it quickly because we're already over our time. When I say New England for next year, I'm forecasting. My forecast is Jimmy G, Damian Harris at running back, and N'Keal Harry. Okay? Number one team, offensive, the Chiefs. Clyde Hilaire, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, and then also Travis Kelce as well. Can New England compete with that team offensively?
Not even close.
Okay. The Buffalo Bills.
Allen Diggs,
and the rest of the group.
No.
Tennessee, Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown.
No.
Minnesota Vikings. This might be the most underrated team in the league as far as talent-wise. Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Thielen, Justin Jefferson.
No.
Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams.
No, if Aaron Rodgers is back.
Of course. The whole Aaron Rodgers is the juice there, but no. Yeah. Arizona, Drake, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins.
No.
Tom Brady, Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Godwin, and the rest of the group.
Nope.
Okay. Derek Carr of the Raiders. Derek Carr, Jacobs, and who's their top receiver? Jacob? Who's their top receiver?
Ruggs, right?
Henry Ruggs, and who's the other guy?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I tell you what. For the purposes of this discussion, I'll say a maybe to be. Well, no, we still can't say maybe the Raiders because the Raiders receivers are still better than the Patriots. So they still.
I mean, we still need to see what happens in free agency and stuff, right?
6, 7, 8. Right. Okay. The Chargers, Justin Herbert,
No.
and the rest of the group, no. The Colts, I think the Colts are going to get Matt Stafford, so no with them. The Rams, I still say no with the Rams. The Saints, I say no with the Saints. So we're down to Houston.
Well, they're going to lose to Deshaun Watson.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We're down to Houston. So we're down. Now we're like 12, 13 on the list here. So I'm saying, in my opinion, best case scenario,
you're in the high teens.
We're in the 12, 13, 14 offensive potential range. And this is still speculation on a couple more good draft picks, a couple more good free a Cooper Kupp type of. You're not even going to get a Cooper Kupp. I'm saying, but a guy in that Cooper Kupp kind of a range.
I do expect the Patriots to sign Hunter Henry, the tight end out of the Chargers. Because I do know Bill Belichick. That
is a hell of a. I mean, that changes the dynamic. I would agree. If you had Jimmy G and Hunter Henry, you still need a receiver. You still need a guy that can stretch the field.
No, I agree. I mean, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, they're both free agents. They're going to have to spend some money. Look, I don't want them drafting receivers because they've proven they can't do it. So that's a no.
Okay.
I don't want
people keep saying Chris Godwin's going to make over $20 million a year. 18 to $20 million. What's that?
That's part of the deal. I don't care. Pay him. I don't care. That's part of the deal.
Okay, what about Allen Robinson? You feel good about Allen Robinson?
You don't. Attention, Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, everybody in the Patriots front office. You don't have Tom Brady anymore. No one's coming there for cheap.
They don't understand that. Bill Belichick is with John Kreese in Tahiti somewhere trying to start up Cobra Kai 2.0. I'm just saying this year, New England fans were deep down in their hearts. They knew this was not the year. They knew with the 9 opt-outs, N'Keal Harry, and the rest of the group, they knew this was not going to be their year. They knew they were not going to win 11 or 12 games in their heart. They knew that. No matter, they could say, "Oh, we're going to win 10 or 11 without Brady." That's just bravado.
The highest I ever thought of them was maybe they can win 8 or 9 after how I saw Cam Newton played the first 2 games where he played well. But I never thought they were going to do anything special this year.
You could say he played well. I mean, he threw for 145 yards in week 1. I mean, 145 is 145.
400 in week 2.
399 in a loss. In a loss. I mean, again, I don't. You love these moral victories. Marcus Mariota in a loss. Cam Newton. A loss is a loss. It's like everybody. You keep telling me that Deshaun Watson had this great year. Okay, he threw the most yards, 4,800 yards. That's great. 33 touchdowns. That's great. 7 interceptions. That's great. Also, he had 4 wins.
Correct.
You could say, "Oh, well, Bill O'Brien sucks," and this guy. Okay, he had 4 wins. I like Deshaun Watson as much as the next guy. I'm simply saying he is a great player. He's a top 7, top 8 quarterback, okay? There's a lot of speculation if he's still a top 5 quarterback with a guy like a Justin Herbert climbing up the depth chart and some of the other guys climbing. Trevor Lawrence is coming in. There's a lot. The thing that you got – look, this is what I want to say about quarterback. The way the game is played now.
3 or 4 guys come in every year.
There's 3 or 4 fresh guys coming in every year. If you are not a legit top 5 quarterback, legit, okay – Tom Brady in his prime, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Rodgers, those kind of guys, the Big Bens get pushed down as the years goes along. The Phillip Rivers get pushed down. The Matt Ryans these guys that were top 5 in their first 5 to 7 years. The guys I named, every year they get pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. If you're a statue.
Every year there's 3 or 4.
Nobody thinks Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, and Big Ben are top 10 quarterbacks anymore. Nobody thinks that.
I agree. And every year there's 3 or 4 guys going in the first round now. But
look at their salaries. Look at their salaries. $35 million. 30. We just talked about Big Ben is 39. He's beat the hell. He's got a $41 million cap.
That is the highest cap hit in the league, by the way.
Carson Wentz is young and he's overpaid. That's a horrible. I'm fine. What I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with a team that a Big Ben, a Matt Ryan, a loyal guy. You had to pay a lot, and he's coming close to the end. That's going to happen. There's no reason a Carson Wentz and a Jared Goff should be overpaid at 26 years old.
And the Rams even said this week that Goff's going to have to compete for the starting job.
I'm stunned by that. By the way, do you remember me saying this at the time, and it fell on deaf ears?
Those were 2 horrible contracts.
No, I said that. That was obvious. I said that. But what I'm talking about a couple weeks ago. I said, why is John Wolford starting over Jared Goff? I said, I understand Jared Goff has a broken thumb.
Then deactivate him.
Then why is he playing in the game? If John Wolford starts and he loses, 35-10 or whatever the deal is, or makes it close or whatever, that's fine. He got injured and knocked out in the first quarter, and then Jared Goff came right in as if he didn't have a broken thumb. That's my point. That's what I'm talking about.
And also, let's just go the last.
Real quick, like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Go ahead.
And I mean, we said it. I mean, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 guys in the first round this year. Last year, there were 4 quarterbacks that went in the first round: Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love. The year before, it was Murray, Jones, Haskins. The year before, these 4 or 5 guys going in the first round every year now.
Now, you tell me you are on the Jordan Love defense team, okay? In this scenario, Jordan Love is O.J. Simpson, and you are Johnny Cochran and all the rest of those guys. What's that? What's the?
I'm just curious where this is going.
Okay, well, O.J. was guilty, in case nobody explained that to you, with the 15 documentaries they've made, and Jordan Love is guilty of being a bad quarterback. So what I'm saying is, you are going to continue to defend Jordan Love until the end of time.
Well, I'm not defending him. I'm just giving him the example of all these guys that have gone through the run last year.
Okay. The year before, you just named a first-round guy, correct?
Yes.
Is Dwayne Haskins still on the Washington team?
No, he's not.
Did they trade a top 15 overall pick for this young man?
Yes, they did.
He's out. They wasted that pick.
Correct.
There's nothing that angers me more when teams just butcher pick. Look, I've watched the draft for many years. Here's what I've seen. If I draft the 4th best left tackle, 15th overall, he's going to be a good player. Unless something unforeseen happens, he's going to be a good player. If I draft the 4th best defensive end, 4th best linebacker, 4th best running back, 15th, 18th, 20th overall, that guy is going to contribute to my team. Maybe he's not a 10-time Pro Bowler like I hoped he was, but he can get a Pro Bowl or 2, or maybe he could just be a very quality starter. Quarterback is such a hard position to play. With everything that goes along with it, it is such a huge boom or bust risk reward. That is the point that I'm saying.
No. I agree. And by the way,
Dwayne Haskins is a bust. He's a bust. He screwed Washington. Screwed him royally.
By the way, I wasn't intending to bring up our Jordan Love argument for the 900th time. I was just saying he went.
Find a way to bring it in.
Well, he went. Did he or did he not go in the first round last year? He was a first-round quarterback last year. There were 4 of them. He was one of them.
He did. He didn't deserve it, but yes, he did.
But
just like Dwayne Haskins did not deserve to be a first-round pick. I said that to you as well, did I not?
Right, and they were both traded up for.
Right.
I was just going over it. I mean, you're never going to see the E.J. Manuel year again, where only one quarterback goes in the first round. The league is so quarterback-centric now. Where just look at this past weekend, championship weekend. It was probably the 4 best quarterbacks in the league that were there.
Yes, and you've got 2 old and 2 young. So You've got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, the legends. They're older, 38 and 43. Okay, so they're older. And then you got the young guns in Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. That's what you're going to see a lot of. So let me think of a guy right now. So Big Ben, for realistic terms, as far as being elite, is done. Yes, can he still win 10 or 11 games? He's proven that.
He can't carry a team anymore.
But right? He can't carry a team anymore. He needs
how ironic is it Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are in the Super Bowl without him?
People love to say that. The memes have been going crazy for a week now. Okay, well, Patrick, I like Antonio Brown. He's the 3rd receiver on the team, and guess what? They won without him last week. People are forgetting that. They won without him. And I don't even want to check the box score. What did Le'Veon Bell do last week?
I believe he was inactive.
Le'Veon Bell was inactive?
I believe, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Okay. I thought he got at least a couple carries, but again, there you go. So, yeah, the point is, every year, 3 or 4 young guns come out. So here's what I want to get to before we wrap this up. Who is a guy that's under 35 that is still okay, let me put it this way. The guys that are starting to age are Matt Stafford at 32.
Right.
And Matt Ryan is on the wrong side. I'm saying Matt Stafford is not old. He's 32, but we see Matt Stafford as old and beat up at 32 now. That's how the league sees him.
Correct.
Jimmy G is 30. We see him as aging at 30 because he's been beat up, because of the multiple teams and all the other shenanigans that goes along with it.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Correct.
Like and subscribe to the channel. Another great show. Cam's going to drink his water. Thanks again. See ya.
See ya.